Well, hello, everybody. Once again, it is Monday. I don't know how it gets here so fast, but I'm very grateful that it does come so that I get to spend some time with you and with our fantastic guests. I'm Kathy Holmes, your host for Act 3 on CHLY 101.7 FM. My in the Zoom booth guest today is Narissa Young. We're going to talk about all kinds of amazing and wonderful things that she's
Yes, we
doing.
are.
So great to be with you today. Thanks,
Thanks.
Narissa, for being here too. My goodness, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Kathy. Thanks for the invite. I was looking forward to this chat as well.
Well, I remember you most of all, of course, for the dynamic and beautiful singer that you are. And this community knows you as a singer, both as a soloist and with the group. Do you want to give everybody a little bit of an idea what's been happening with your world lately?
Wow, lately, the last 5 years have been pretty dynamic, I'll say that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of performing before the pandemic and preparing the Diana Krall tribute as a five-piece, which had
Yeah.
launched very successfully, and recording another album, and then poof, things plot twisted, and we did community concerts that summer, of course, with a whole bunch of jazz musician friends of mine.
Yeah.
And it reconnected me with the feeling of just how important sound and music is, so far beyond the layer of entertainment, which has
Agreed.
its place, right? Which is
Agreed.
important.
Yeah.
And I had started to study sound therapy in 2014.
Huh?
And I picked up the rest of the degree program that fall 2020. I jumped back in. They were in progress live.
Yeah.
And it took the next 2.5 years to finish that. And then did a specialization in vibroacoustic therapy, which is a low frequency therapy.
Oh, wow.
And now, fast forward to the beginning of this year, I was able to, along with another business person, purchase the training program
Oh, wow.
that I was certified in. So I have been very busy this year training practitioners. I think we're just up over 50, and I'm about to graduate 15 next week.
Wow.
So
Wow.
been a super busy year for that.
Mhm.
And my studio continues to be very steady as well. In and I'm doing one-on-one sessions. And I love getting out and doing like sound baths and,
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Well,
custom
actually,
group sessions and stuff too.
that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you was because I think maybe it's been a year, maybe two, where I started to see sound bathing as being such an enrichment to self-care and to really, we're in a world right now where things are so chaotic and so crazy that we're just trying to find ways that we can be grounded a little bit better. And so it made me curious because I know a couple of the people that are in town that you have worked with and that you've partnered with over time. And I keep on feeling so curious about it because I think about the beautiful bowl and I think about, it as it being a yoga practice, right? Can
Mhm.
you tell me a little bit more or tell our listeners a little bit more as to why sound bathing is so important and what it can actually do for our, I want to say the word endocrine system, but I'm sure said that wrong.
It's the nervous system that benefits the most, I believe, and then a cascading effect. So
Yeah.
the reason why sound baths are so important now in this world, first of all, we're not meant to have a front row seat for all the chaos,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
With the internet and everything, all of that stuff is sadly at our fingertips, and we need to choose carefully about what kind of a media diet or that we handle. Sound baths create a perfect pause for the nervous system.
Okay.
So they take you from always on mode and all the things all the time, which is stress mode for the body, and it's not meant to sustain it over time, right? We're supposed to be able to get into fight or flight
Yes.
to escape danger,
Yeah.
not on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
So it causes all kinds of systems in the body to wear down. So when we go to a sound bath, we shut off, we get into group coherence because everybody in that group, their intention, their practice is the same. It's to go in and have quiet and stillness. As each sound enters and exits with silence in between, the nervous system has a chance to gently acquaint with that sound. A lot of people will have memories or even tastes or smells that will accompany a sound. They'll remember something that's associated with that sound. and then it will ease into silence. So the practitioner's job is to hold that container safely and to guide those people into a group restorative state where they can drop down into parasympathetic, maybe even have a little snooze. We have a little snoring etiquette in sound baths. If you're snoring in a sound bath, you're going to get a little tap on the shoulder.
I love
Because as glorious as it is that you fell asleep, it can be very disruptive.
for sure.
So to the snorers out there, yes, come, but know, your strategies. Maybe you need to turn over or bring
Yeah,
your
yeah.
partner to keep an eye on you. I don't know,
Well,
but
you would
very, very
think that
relaxing.
you would get to be in such a place of relaxation. I have a very difficult time sleeping in public in any way, shape, or form, right? Like I
Mhm.
can't sleep on a plane. I think I can zone out and meditate with a group of people and go quite deep in that. But
Mhm.
sleep is not really one of those places that I can be. How far do most people go though? They may not necessarily get to the sleep portion, but how deeply can people go with sound bath?
I would say half of the people fall asleep, Kathy.
They do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When
Really?
the container is set up properly,
Yeah.
as in the space is prepared with all the things, right? You're comfortable, it's warm enough.
Yeah.
When the practitioner guides them down well enough before the sound bath starts,
Hmm, hmm.
when they choose the instruments, not only intuitively, but wisely. There's a time that voice should be there, and there's a time that it shouldn't for different reasons. There's a time that rhythm should be there and a time that it shouldn't,
Yeah.
right? And you want to know your textures, whatever instruments you're using, you want to know them well and know how they interplay, know which ones work harmonically together, know which ones are dissonant or crunchy or activating, and know when to use those too. So
So,
done properly. I mean, I hear people snore all the time, especially in the
right.
studio. I will have people I just met
Yeah.
full on snore 5 minutes later.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible to me.
Yeah.
So, if I go to a sound bath for the very first time, what
Hmm.
could I expect to experience? How does it start? What is what does it look like for somebody who may never have experienced that before?
Sure. So definitely I advise taking a look at their website.
Yeah.
Kind of see what they're about, what they've been doing, how you feel about it.
Yeah.
When you get there, it'll be similar to a yoga, shoes off. You will usually be instructed to bring your own nest, which is
Okay.
going to be a yoga mat, cushions, pillow, eye mask, whatever
Yeah.
makes you comfortable, because chances are you're going to be on the floor for an hour.
Mhm.
I like to bring a zero gravity chair, as I like to
Oh,
be extra comfortable.
no doubt. It's like
Um,
and they rock you too, if I'm not mistaken, right? The zero gravity chairs, are they?
No, this is just a folding one that just
Oh,
opens
okay.
up, and
Okay,
then I
okay.
bring my blanket and eye mask and everything. I definitely recommend that.
Lovely.
Okay, so the beginning of the summit. So position yourself carefully
Mhm.
because not everybody plays these instruments the same way. I've been to a sound bath once where the person played everything at max volume. I thought she was going to break one of her bowls. She was hitting them so hard. And so
Wow.
everything was loud. And that's fine. Although I wondered if some of the people in the room maybe didn't have a good experience, but it was probably just perfect for what was needed in the moment. And I trust that, right?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Sure, I was a little activated, but it was probably what I needed that day.
yeah, yeah.
But bear that in mind when you go in. If you think you might be sound sensitive to things like drums and crystal bowls, some people play crystal bowls quite loud, then position yourself accordingly. Go a little bit to the back of the room.
Okay.
Um, they usually will begin by telling you a little bit about sound therapy, doing some guided breath work, helping you settle in and relax, maybe a guided meditation.
Hmm.
Then it's going to just go instrument to instrument.
Mm,
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's like a little buffet. You just go on a little journey that you've never been on before and experience each texture. What I know about sound is that your cells hear even as little as 20 decibels.
Wow.
That's about a loud whisper. So really, you just lay there and soak it up. It's going to go where it needs to go in the body.
Yeah, for sure. So the participants of the sound bath are not playing the instruments, just the practitioner. Is that correct? Or is
Correct.
it, could it
Yeah.
be is it, like a group of people that have been
No,
playing
no,
together?
it's
Wow.
typically just the practitioner.
Just the
Yeah.
practitioner.
If I do a large group, if I do more than 20, I bring a second practitioner and
Okay.
they will help not only with setup and teardown, but they will help with certain instruments so that we
Mhm.
can create a more immersive, like if it's a large group. I also love to move around during my sound baths.
Right.
A lot of the typical what you'll see, like if you look it up on Google,
Mhm.
is you'll see that they're cross-legged and they got bowls all around them and a
Mhm.
gong behind, and that's great. I love to move. So I set up my bowls on a table and all the things within my reach, and then I will grab it and weave through the room or go around. So when I have a big group, I have another practitioner and they have mirrored instruments. So when I pick up a koshi chime, they pick up a koshi chime, and then we have a sequence that we'll do to make it immersive. You can also use tracks or backgrounds, ambient backgrounds.
Yes.
So, for example, there's a website called mynoise.net, which is a spectacular source of ambient sounds, and they're all professionally recorded in the field. So you're hearing birds on the African coast, it's birds they went there and recorded it.
Wow.
And you can control all the different parameters. If you choose a scene and you want, less ocean, more wind, or less bird and more frogs, I mean, you can make it your own. So sometimes you can use something like that, or a YouTube, or whatever. Be cautious in your choosing. I always say, right, keep it spacious. People came there to relax, not to,
Yeah,
go
you don't want
to
to
the
clutter up the
African jungle.
background. Sure. That
Yeah.
makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
So I use nature, really gentle, kind of chimey piano stuff when they're coming in just to set the tone.
Mhm.
So I think that's a nice touch.
What made you decide to do this work?
I don't know where it came. In 2014 was when I did the first semester of the degree program, and I cannot remember how it showed up.
Wow. Well,
But it
it's
did.
obviously was supposed to because it's been a
Yeah.
decade now, like over a decade that you've been
Yeah.
working this practice.
Yeah.
And how often were you attending yourself, and how often do you recommend for someone who's just starting out to consider taking sound baths?
Well, sound baths, they're going to vary depending on where you are and what's available,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
You got to kind of get on the radar to start with.
Yeah.
It would be nice if there were a few regular ones, but
Mhm.
it's kind of just taking hold. And I've seen some practitioners who will do a regular sound bath in the same yoga studio for 3 months, let's say.
Mhm,
Well,
mhm.
great. The people that go there normally get used to them being there. They know it's always, the third Friday or whatever. I think that's a great way to go, kind of like a residency, right?
Sure,
And I'd
sure.
love to see live music do kind of the same.
Agree.
Nobody wants to go to the same restaurant for 6 months in a row and see the same person, right?
Yeah.
So I say see what's around you
Yeah.
and pencil it in. My Facebook page has, or sorry, on Facebook I have a group called the Vancouver Island Sound Therapy Alliance, and that I put mostly to connect practitioners at the beginning because I wanted us all to see each other and see what our offerings are because everybody's got a
Hmm.
unique perspective. It's also become a place where people that are looking for sound baths or sound practitioners. So that's a good place you can check.
But
There's
it also
just
gives you an opportunity to really, if you've purchased the course now, to bring it to community, to
mm,
create more practitioners within. I would imagine that it gives you a great opportunity for, people who are interested in doing this work alongside,
yeah,
to get that
yeah,
training. Yeah.
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 Sound practitioners, including myself, can put their offerings in there as well.
Mhm.
Like I do tuning fork workshops and some coaching, and then the vibroacoustic certification as well. I kind of have a two-pronged thing going, right? I have Sea of Sound, and then I have vibroacoustic therapy, which they merge often.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I really was looking for it to be a place where people could get found, right? Like a
Hmm.
directory style.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
because like you're saying, okay, well, if I want to go to sound baths, where do I look?
Absolutely. And frankly, I've
Mm,
never I think that I can't say that I've never had a sound therapy. I can say that I was very lucky that I got to spend some time with the Dalai Lama years ago when he was in Vancouver. And at the entrance into one of his, I went to two different events that he was at. One of them, there was only 25 people in the room with him. It was really extraordinary. And his practitioners around him, before he came into the room, did somewhat of a sound bath. It was really, really beautiful,
Mhm.
very, very grounding, very gave the opportunity for audience and an opening of ourselves so we could receive the information that he was
Beautiful.
bringing to us. It was like phenomenal. And then I went to another one, which was a much larger scale, auditorium, hundreds of people. Desmond Tutu was with him. It was like a
Wow.
incredible experience, right? And they
Cool.
did something rather similar, but not in a I haven't seen it or participated on that local level, like in a yoga class or like in a stretching class of sorts. So that's why I'm curious to see how much of this has been happening because I'm starting to see it a lot.
Yeah.
And it's expanded in a big way. So I'm very grateful for that within our community. I think we really need that.
100%. Yeah.
One of the things that I also noticed a few years ago, of course, I've been, stalking you. I mean,
Great. I love a good
wow,
stalker.
right?
I'll try to
Um,
keep it interesting for you,
Keep it
Kathy.
interesting, right? That's for sure. And I did see that you were doing some work with tuning forks,
Mm.
and I don't really understand tuning forks very well. I wonder if you can give us some understanding of really what that is, and how is it similar or how is it different than using bowls or other forms of sound?
Well, this is so fun. We get to talk about all my favorite
I know,
stuff.
I love it.
Okay, I do love tuning forks because they're simple, they're low tech, they're pretty much indestructible.
Mhm.
They're pure frequency. You can approach them mathematically, geometrically, musically, based on what frequency and note they are. So, what I want to say to everyone is look at sound as nutrition.
Yes, lovely.
So every sound that we experience is being interpreted by our nervous system as, good, not good, neutral, right?
Yeah.
So we can use it in sound therapy. We use it very intentionally, right? Like I know the frequencies that the human body responds to with vibroacoustic therapy so that I can help people with specific symptoms or get better sleep or
Hmm.
reduce their stress response, that kind of thing. So tuning forks, I do workshops on, and I'm actually working on getting my tuning fork essentials in an online format, which is
Oh,
great because
wow.
I love to travel and still be in
Hmm.
business.
You betcha.
Um, and I'm also writing a book about sound healing and tuning forks. So tuning forks, I say it's the best entry into sound healing. Like I think everybody should have a tuning fork. They should have like one weighted tuning fork, kind of like this,
Hmm.
right? One weighted tuning fork that you can use on the body. So anytime you see those little balls up the top here, these
Hmm.
weights at the top,
Hmm.
these ones are gold. Most of the ones you see are silver.
Hmm.
Um, that's to drive the vibration into the handle so that it can be placed onto the body. Well,
Right.
vibration can interrupt pain signals to the brain.
Okay.
So you can use it all over for different kinds of things, reducing inflammation, moving fluids. When you see tuning forks that don't have the weights up top, those are for use around the body
Hmm.
or by the ears. So that's where you might get into binaural beats, brain tuners, using different musical intervals for specific reasons, using them as a meditation aid,
Hmm.
as an energy clearing. I talk to a lot of Reiki people who love to have a few forks in their studio for saging. I've got a fork called the Sonic Sage that you use instead of Palo Santo or sage.
Wow.
So there's a number of different ways that we can use it outside the body as well as right on the body. I just taught a weekend training with Lisa Meikle, actually here in
Hmm.
Nanaimo, on
Lovely. So she's
tuning forks.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, she's my sound buddy for sure.
Yeah.
Tuning forks for practitioners. So
Great.
we had practitioners. We were teaching them about using the tuning forks, but actually taught them how to do a treatment on themselves and a full front and back body treatment on a client.
Which is really quite something because I can see where the vibration that comes from a tuning fork could be really elemental in stopping pain or stopping source because the body is, a very reactive. I don't think people understand just how reactive we truly are when it comes to sound and the way that it affects us. But
Yeah.
if you think about it, listening to your favorite song, how it elevates your mood or how it changes you or brings you back to a point in time in life, I see that that's really similar when it comes to the tuning forks, the way your body remembers things and it remembers
Yeah.
how to hold on to or relieve any stressors that you might have. So that makes sense.
Hmm.
For our listeners who are listening to us on the radio, the tuning fork that we're talking about, I like to say that it's sort of in the shape of uh, where you put a rock in it, like what is it?
Slingshot?
Slingshot. It's kind of in the shapes, looks like, sounds like, three words. So it's sort of a super, super narrow slingshot, basically, while it doesn't have any cable or anything to pull back at the top or the weight. So for people to
Mhm.
sort of get a visual of a really,
Mhm.
really narrow slingshot that's made of steel or
Well, like
brass
a
or
fork,
like a
like if you
fork,
imagine a fork with just two tines.
there you go, even better.
Yeah.
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 And they're very different in size. I've seen quite
Mm.
large ones and I've seen very small ones as
Oh, I
well.
should have lined up for some for show and tell. Maybe should I? Maybe I'll bring them next time. Yeah. So the shorter the tines, the higher the frequency,
Okay.
right? The longer the tines, the lower the frequency is, and the longer the sound wave is. So, in the case of a weighted tuning fork, a really long weighted tuning fork is going to penetrate into the body tissues better than a shorter one,
Yeah.
even with weights. I mean, they all have different levels of effectiveness, but that's the reasoning. That's the physics. That's
Hmm.
just the way it is.
It's the same with the bowls, right? There's various different sizes of
Yeah.
bowls that create
Yeah.
these various different sounds. I don't mean to make it super elementary, but I think it's important for our guests who may not have ever seen this
Absolutely.
or
Yeah.
understood it. It really is quite special. And I know that for people that partake in, Reiki or things like that, these kinds of tools are quite commonly used. Sage is
Mhm.
also used, as you said.
Yeah.
First Nation community uses a lot of these kinds of tools to create a relationship with nature and those that are around them.
Hmm.
And actually, that does bring me to another question as to whether or not through the courses that you've taken and those that you're planning on teaching, is there a correlation between early sounds, First Nation sounds that have kind of transported themselves into what we know as modern day sound bowls and tuning forks of our time? Is there any kind of a connection?
Well, I'll tell you that sound therapy is, I say, it's the cutting edge of a very old sword.
Yes,
This has been used across probably every culture
yes,
over time. They have danced, used their voices, they've used drums around a fire.
yeah,
This is innate in us because we are rhythm. Our
yes,
heart is the main drummer. Our
yes.
breath is in rhythm. The way our fluids move in our body are in rhythm. So it's very, very natural to us to
Mhm.
connect through it, to be soothed by it, and for it to have responses in the body. Like a loud, fast song is energizing,
Yes, yes.
right? Where something that's slower and softer is generally calming.
Hmm.
So it's the language of our body. It's our cells. It's all frequency.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm feeling the frequency in this very moment.
Right?
I really
Girl,
am.
you got to get a tuning fork or a bowl or
I know, I
something.
do. I do have a couple of sound bowls, to be honest with you. I know I have one. I'm not sure
Great.
if I still have two. And I have some beautiful, very old brass bells that are from India that are just absolutely exquisite. And I love the sounds of what they do. And when I'm um,
Hmm.
when I'm a little bit freaked out in my world, there are times when I'll burn some sage and I'll try to understand like what's going on inside of my body.
Yeah.
Why am I feeling? Why is my heart going a million beats a second?
Because the
There's
world is.
obviously yeah,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
so much going on. So I find that for me, when I get to that place, I'm really in need of actually taking that breath, and sometimes those tools can really help. I'm just going to
Yeah.
take a quick break for a second. I love to tell people, Narissa, to grab pieces of paper and pens so that they can, reach out and they can call you, or they can go to your website or whatever it is, however you like to communicate with our community. So this gives people an opportunity. We're about halfway through the program at the moment. And I'm delighted, I'm ecstatic, I'm so happy that we're talking about something that I think could really, really help us as we go through, coming on to be a really crazy, hectic season, right? We're moving
Yeah.
into the winter months. People are getting ready for the holidays. There's a lot of uncertainty economically speaking. There's a lot of uncertainty on, how we're going to connect with each other over the holidays coming up. So offering an opportunity for you to have some tools in your world, in your wheelhouse, that can
Hmm.
help you get through some of these stressful times is really key. The other thing that's really key to me is sharing what's happening in our community. And so I really want to take a moment here just to say, there's a few things that are coming up in the next little while. If you are listening to this program as an encore and these, dates have passed you, don't worry. Our content is still really interesting, especially about our conversation with Narissa today. But other things within our community are happening all the time. So just reach out. We're happy to help in any way we can. So number one, I want to share with you on December 10th, something really cool is happening. Our dear friend Nico Rhodes is playing in our community again. He's got a great show that's going to happen for the Christmas holidays. And I really do hope that you will look it up and check into seeing what Nico Rhodes is doing. All you have to do is like type in Nico Rhodes piano heist, and it's going to take you to the Christmas show that's happening on December 10th. There's two shows, one at 2 o'clock and one at 6 o'clock. He's one of my favorite people on the planet and an incredible musician. So do make yourself available to go and see that show. It's on a Wednesday. But it's a good day to go visit and enjoy the show. So do get your tickets. Just check out pianoheist.com. So that's one. The other thing that's happening, of course, is the Christmas Angel program. Rita Inamorati, one of my favorite people as well. I have a lot of favorite people. I'm so lucky. She is with Volunteer Nanaimo. She's the executive director there. And what happens every year is that Rita Inamorati and her team of Christmas Angels really do help our community. Last year, I believe that they gave out to 1,500 families for those that were struggling and having a hard time during the Christmas season. You can be an angel. If you want to find out more about how you can be an angel, all you have to do is reach out to Volunteer Nanaimo, and they will help you get to where you need to go for the Christmas Angels program. If you want to receive the benefits of Christmas Angels, you do need to go through an agency. So there's a number of agencies in town that you may be aligned with, Nanaimo Family Life Association, or the Nanaimo Brain Injury Society, Children Development. Any of the local agencies within our community can help you out to ensure that you are vetted so that you can be part of the Christmas Angel program. So there's two really cool things. Three really cool things is that if you happen to be driving on the road and you see this guy with a helmet on his head, and the helmet is in the figure of Cookie Monster or one of the other amazing, fun, crazy Muppets. They are called Helmet Head Canada, and what they do is they go up and down Vancouver Island delivering presents to all of the hospitals in the region. And so if you have a toy that you want to make sure gets out to someone who is in hospital, these little kids really appreciate these toys. They're completely sanitized, completely ready to go. They're brand new toys, but they must go through a process that he does through Helmet Head, and make sure that they're ready so that they can go into a surgical environment. And so it's really important. Reach out to helmethead.ca and find out more on how you can help out there. Also, Act 3 Media Productions, our next show is coming up, ready for you to watch. Check it out on Channel 4. You can see it 4 times a day all over Vancouver Island, and on Act 3 Media Productions right here on CHLY 101.7, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and YouTube. And now I think that's a lot for the stuff I want to share right now. Let's get back to our amazing guest, Narissa Young. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
There's
There
a
is
lot,
so
hey?
there's so much. Yeah, and I'm
There's,
gonna miss Nico's show because I'm gonna be on a plane
uh,
that day.
and I'm filming that night, so I'm going to be missing it as well.
Oh,
Where are you heading
shoot.
on December 10th? Are you going back to your love, wonderful
No, I'll be
place in
coming back
the
from
world?
Mexico.
Oh, that's okay too. Okay,
Yeah,
coming back from Mexico.
gotta go get a little
Winter
sun.
time, we need to get warm back again to the core.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Do you practice your sound therapy when you're in Mexico on the beautiful beaches there? Do you take that with you as something or
I will be actually taking a vacation this time. Yeah.
ah,
When I go to
okay.
Greece, I practice. I have everything there to do sound baths.
Hmm.
Um, I am doing a retreat there every year.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
Tell us
next
about
year
your retreat.
it's a sound healing themed retreat on the island of Skopelos, which
Oh,
is the island they filmed Mamma Mia, and it is as beautiful as you see in the movie. It will be 8 days, and we've got a villa. There will be sound healing practices, so everyone will get their voice analysis, vibroacoustic therapy sessions. We have a yoga teacher doing yoga nidra, which is phenomenal, and we'll be doing sound baths every day.
wow.
So it's a beautiful balance of that restorative, really healing wellness aspect,
Yeah.
but space to do your own thing, and we're gonna get out and have some fun. We did an ABBA karaoke night last year.
Oh,
It
what a
was
riot.
just an absolute blast. My guests did not want to leave. It was really
Okay.
wonderful. So
So
next
eight
year it's
days is too
in
short.
June.
8 days is
Well,
too
eight
short.
days, 8 days I think is the sweet spot. If it's any shorter, then it doesn't feel at all like they've relaxed.
Yeah.
And if you've come from even this far, anywhere in North America, for example, it's a
Mhm.
long ways to get there. You're not just going for a week. You're going to go for at least three, hopefully,
Yes.
and see some other things. So this 8 days is really, really the chance to slow down properly. You don't have to run around and see everything. It's a small island. It's like a little bit bigger than Gabriola,
Wow.
and you can just chill out and have an ice cream and watch the ferry come and go and
Mm,
go pick a beach and just forget what time it is. It's really I really slow down when I go there. So
no
it's
doubt.
lovely. Yeah,
No doubt. How wonderful. It's a home away from home.
it really is. Oh yes, I cry every time I leave.
I bet.
I really do.
I bet I can feel that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can. Greece has always been a place that I've wanted to go to for
Mhm.
loads and loads and loads of reasons.
Yeah.
I'm drawn to it. It's on my, I don't want to call it a bucket list because I don't believe that I'll
There needs
ever
to be a better
age.
term for that. I talk to people all the
Absolutely.
time too, and they say, "Oh, Greece is on my list. Greece is on my list," and I'm like, "Well, let's get it off.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
come on, let's."
Let's get her done.
I've seen around probably 10 different places in Greece too, because each time we go to a different spot,
Yeah.
and it does. I think on some way it calls a lot of us home there. There's
Yeah.
something that feels like really grounded and really like the origin somehow. It's hard to put into words. But I know that when I first saw the islands, the first time I went, I saw the islands out of the plane window. I really had an emotional response to it. And, I
Yeah.
just feel, yeah, another home there. I was just totally drawn there. So I get it when people say that.
I resonate with that. I
Mhm.
haven't been to Greece, but I have been to Rome, and I found that very same thing when I went to Rome. I landed in
Yeah.
Rome, and it was just like, I, you know, I felt so unbelievably at home. Like
Mhm.
I felt so grounded in that place, and look forward to grounding in Greece as well. So that will definitely happen at some point in my life. You also, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, you're also known for your music here.
Mhm.
You sing beautifully. Your voice is
Thank you.
outstanding. It's absolutely incredible. And you talked a little bit before we got on board, onto the show, a little bit about your Diana Krall tribute.
Mhm.
Curious about that. Have you been working on some new music for the community? Are you planning a show yourself
No, I
in
haven't
the
had
next little
time.
while? Yeah,
I
well, you're
haven't had
pretty busy.
time.
In fairness, you are pretty busy.
I'm running two businesses right now, and so music is in the sidecar for the moment. Music
Yeah,
performance, anyways,
yeah,
right? I mean, I
yeah.
will always sing.
Of course you
And
will.
my favorite new instrument is a lyre from Greece. It's a 9-string lyre with a wooden body. It's beautiful. It sounds between a really nice acoustic guitar and a harp. It's a
Oh.
lovely instrument. So that's where I'm focusing my music energy. And I do bring that into all my healing sessions, all my sound baths. Voice is always present. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
exploring that in a different, not performative way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just being with that right now. There's a lot of development. The vibroacoustic therapy business is not only very busy, but the whole industry is just multiplying like crazy. There's so much equipment out there, and we're really focused on the specialty of educating practitioners.
Yes. Yeah.
So I am joyfully engaged, with these two beautiful vehicles that keep things interesting for me.
Yeah.
I would love to get back in the studio and make some kind of a healing album. I just don't know what it looks like yet, and that's okay.
I love that you put it out
Yeah.
there though, because when you put stuff out into the universe,
Mm-hmm.
90% of the time it opens that door for you to find just the
Truly,
right fit, right? Just
truly.
so
Yeah.
it goes.
And I love language. I sing in 5 languages, and Spanish is really fun for me. I think that's probably my favorite language to sing in, actually. So
Really?
I'm studying Spanish again. I would love to do an album in Spanish. I mean,
Wow.
there's just no limit. Yeah.
No, there's no limit at all.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
I love that you have so much energy and such vibrance about you that you're able to do these things so well and so
Yeah.
beautifully. I have a question for you though. I wonder, I didn't ask you this before we got on set, so you can say no if it doesn't work out for you. But I did notice that you do have a couple of samples of your sound forks or your tuning forks in front of you. And I
Mhm.
just wonder if we could take a moment, if it isn't too much trouble, to just give someone a little bit of a sample in the sound. It's going to sound perhaps different on the radio. I don't know how it's going to translate, but it
Okay.
might be nice just to take a couple of minutes to just sort of give people an idea of what this sound bath could look like. Would that work for you?
Yeah, let me just go and grab a couple of forks. If you want to chat about something else for a
I
minute,
sure will.
my
Yeah.
studio's close. I'll just be 2 seconds.
I love that when that happens. Yes, I always have something to share with you. I also just want to remind you as well that the Nanaimo and Voyager magazine comes out every single month around the first of the month, and you can find it in just about every major center, whether or not you're at the airport, if you're taking a BC ferry, whether you are at some of the doctor's offices in town, certainly the community centers and all of that stuff. The Nanaimo Voyager magazine is really great because it's a two-part magazine. The Nanaimo side of it, of course, is what's happening in Nanaimo, it's a Nanaimo cover. And the Voyager magazine goes from tip to tip on Vancouver Island as well. I've been writing for the magazine for, I want to say 14 years now, 13, 12, 13, 14 years. It's been a long, long time that I've been writing for the magazine. But what's important about it is it's a great connection to what's happening within our community. So you can find out about people that are doing incredible businesses, including things like tuning, going to tuning sessions or yoga sessions or things like that in the magazine. So I do encourage you, if you haven't picked up a Nanaimo and Voyager magazine, do so. It'll be worth your while. Narissa, you're back. Yahoo!
Okay, so I've got
Okay.
some tuning forks here. We're gonna do a fun little show and tell,
A little
and
show
I'm
and
gonna
tell.
just
For our listeners, we'll describe them as best as we can so that you can hear
okay,
them. But for our listeners that are watching on iHeart, Spotify, or on YouTube, uh,
perfect.
yeah, you'll be able to
Yeah.
see them as well.
Okay, so again, remembering that some of the tuning forks look like a fork with two tines with no weights at the top.
Yeah.
So here's the example of what I call the sonic sage. So
Okay.
it's a relatively short fork, right? Then it's only less than 3 inches here, right?
Yeah.
And it's quite high sounding. So this one I use instead of having sage or Palo Santo burning because it's a small studio and I don't want to put smoke in the air for people, right?
Oh,
So I
for
just
sure.
activate it. Actually, I have a hockey puck with my
Oh,
logo.
wow. For our hockey lovers, a
You know
hockey
these are
puck.
made in Canada for sure.
Yahoo! Love Made in
So this
Canada.
one would sound like this, and I would go and I would use it in the space the same way I would if I was burning sage.
Okay. Oh, I can feel that almost coming right through,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I use it at the beginning of all my studio sessions, and it's like almost like a Pavlovian response where
Yes.
the person will hear it and then their whole system goes, "Oh, we know what's happening next." And they
Yeah.
just start to drop right away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll go around the room with that, and I do it for sound baths as well. Um, and offer it as a space clearing. That's the time I may set the intention as well, right? I may set the
So,
intention for strong coherence in the body or deep rest for the whole group or whatever.
so when you hit it on the hockey puck, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, it starts off very light, and I noticed it amplifies. Is it the air that's coming through the fork that's causing that amplification? Is it the way that you're moving it away from the
It's
hockey
the way
puck?
that I'm moving it. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I strike it, it's actually it's loud for a moment, but then because we're dealing with a microphone here, right? So
Of
I'm
course.
going to strike it and then get it to the microphone as quickly as I can. And what will happen is the sound will there's an attack when I hit the puck, and then there's a decay, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So you can use one tuning fork as a meditation, just like that. You can use it in your own space, use it around your body. Some people will move a fork around their body, almost like a small brush. You
yes,
know,
yes.
activate it and then move it in a sweep. A lot of people use like a 528 or a 432 or something for that. There are
528, 432 are gauges of the tuning fork,
sorry,
are they?
those are frequencies. Those are
Oh,
hertz. So 528 hertz.
okay.
Yeah, this little guy is 1111 hertz, the one that we just heard. So the
Wow.
higher the fork, the brighter sounding it's going to be.
And the lower, the deeper, the down
Yeah, the more
tone.
towards the earth, the more grounding it's going to feel, lower in tone, more towards vibration. Okay.
Hmm,
So the
hmm.
next one you're going to hear is this one, and this one's based on the ohm frequency. So the ohm frequency of 136.1 hertz,
136.1 hertz.
yeah, is based on the Earth's journey around the sun every year.
Oh,
So if you
yes.
imagine that of course, the Earth goes around the sun in a predictable manner. If
Mhm.
we sped up that pulse, that yearly pulse, and we speed it up a whole bunch of times, 32 times, we end up in the audible range as this fork.
Wow.
Okay. So
Okay.
if you think about it, now we've been living on the earth our whole lives. That's a frequency, that's a pulse that is very familiar to our bodies and
Mhm.
very comforting. That's the great mother. She's the
Mhm.
one we need to be connected to for wisdom. So the effect of this fork, I always tell people if you're only going to get one, get an ohm fork. So here's what
I
it
don't know.
sounds like. And again,
Okay.
I can activate it on the puck. This one I like to activate sometimes on the heel of my hand, and you're going to hear it now. It's going to be quite low sounding,
Oh, it's quite low.
and it's a note of C sharp. Now, I would place it here,
So right in your
right on the
sternum.
sternum,
Yeah.
and it's
Wow.
beautiful, very calming. You let it run all the way down a good 20 seconds or so. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you can use it in other places on the body too. It's great for TMJ. You can use it on acupuncture points.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So when we talk about health, right?
Mhm.
Because there's our traditional medicine is very prescriptive.
Western medicine, yes.
Western medicine is very prescriptive, absolutely.
Hmm.
I'm curious about because this is a therapy of sorts, and of course, I always recommend for people just because of we are on a public broadcast, right? This is CHLY, where if you're going to do anything where you're doing it for medical reasons, please go talk to your doctor. Do not just do stuff without knowing what's what, right? And
Get
so
educated is the best
be
thing because a
educated.
lot of the doctors don't even know what it's about.
1,000%.
Yes.
But if you have, some people, have heart
Yeah,
conditions and things like that. So it is important just to check for this from a safety perspective.
for
But
sure.
But how is this therapy working in the body? I mean, we've talked about it, releasing if you've got a tightness or shoulder injury, or if you've got other things that are going on where you can put that right onto the injury and that sound goes into the muscles
Hmm.
and it
Hmm.
invites the rest of your body to go to
Oh,
that spot to do
I
its
have all
job.
the answers. I have all the answers.
Good, right? Like
Okay.
exactly.
So
Go for it.
when you use, so there's one primary thing we're dealing with here, and it's resonance. And
Yes,
this is physics. You don't even have to believe it for it to work, but if you believe it, it works better.
of course.
So resonance, we're looking to resonate the body back to its ideal frequency, back to its ideal state. So if I've got a tight muscle and it's pulling and it's causing me pain, that's not ideal. I want to
Mhm.
get it to relax. And I
Yes.
want to think about how it got that way in the first place,
Yeah, of course, of course.
right? So we know that vibration, when it's applied to a muscle, inspires the release of nitric oxide in the muscle. That's the thing that when you go to get a massage, that's that relax feeling that comes over. Okay, nitric oxide. So that's just a fact of science of what vibration does on muscle tissue. The other thing is there are small receptors under the skin called Pacinian corpuscles that are mechanoreceptors. So that one of their main jobs is to sense vibration.
Yes.
So when vibration comes into the Pacinian corpuscles, it can actually create a neural inhibition of pain. So you don't need to take a painkiller. You can just keep your fork with you and use it as much as you need to through the day.
Some people I know have really serious issues with their back, right?
Mm.
They have troubles straightening. They have troubles, the nerve pain from their neck from this. Is it better to try to do this yourself, or is it better to go to a practitioner? Right. I
Well,
mean,
anywhere that you can reach on your own body, for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, do it yourself. Practitioner-led sessions, I think, for most things, are generally more effective because you have somebody holding safe space for you.
sure.
So your nervous system goes, okay, I'm looked after. I can just shut it all down. I don't need to be vigilant right now.
Yeah.
Okay. For people who have, for example, back issues or somewhere that they can't reach effectively for themselves,
Mhm.
vibroacoustic therapy is fantastic. Because remember what I just said about vibration and the
Right.
Pacinian corpuscles? Well, vibroacoustic therapy is a low frequency therapy. So we're talking between 30 and 120 hertz
Yeah.
applied directly to the body through a massage table that has, low frequency transducers mounted underneath, or there are vibroacoustic mats and cushions and a bunch of things. We have an equipment page on our vibroacoustictherapy.com website that gives a really good overview of just about everything that's out there because we know just about everybody.
Yeah, no, it's the best
And
thing
it's
to do.
and it's all just linked to their website. We're really strong in creating a community so people can learn about what this is about. So for people managing pain, vibroacoustic therapy is fantastic. It's a nice way to get in a regular treatment where you can actually not just relieve the pain in the moment, but it's cumulative. So the
Hmm.
body remembers it. So again, we're resonating the body back to its natural state.
I'm breathing all of that in, thinking how
Mhm.
wonderful it would be for us all to be at our natural state all of the
Yeah.
time. I
Yeah, and
mean,
that's my passion, Kathy, is
yeah,
to that's my when every day when I'm dealing with clients or I'm dealing with students, I love that I get to teach practitioners because then I get to increase the ripple and the impact.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Practitioners are just my favorite. I love it. So vibroacoustic therapy, I deal with a lot of massage therapists, Reiki, physio, chiros, all kinds of it. People all over the world. Just had an inquiry from South Africa yesterday. Got a practitioner in the UK and Mexico City starting next month. So it's really spreading. What was I going to say about that? Yeah, we're really focusing on getting that person back to the best place that they can be
Yeah,
because that's the kind of world that I want to live in. I
yeah,
want people to express their individuality and go on their amazing life adventure that they came here to do in whatever way they want to do it.
yeah.
And I want them to be in a balanced, healthy human place, getting a great sleep, being surrounded by loving relationships, taking care of your body, being healthy in your body, And now let's build community from there because those people are going to make much better decisions than those who are stressed out and not sleeping and not feeling supported and not taking care of their bodies, right? So that's my goal. I mean, I counsel people on their sleep hygiene and bedtime routines and hydration and all those very basic elements.
And so many of us don't do it, right? So
Yeah.
many of us are going to bed anxious.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm not an anxious person. I don't consider myself to be an anxious person in any way, shape, or form. But I have been more anxious this year than ever before, right?
Yeah.
For so
Yeah.
many
You're
reasons.
not
I
alone.
wasn't anxious during COVID at all.
Mhm.
A lot of people were. I wasn't. Mind you, in fairness, my job didn't, I was an essential worker, so I didn't have the, time to clean the closet, right? Like it was a very
Mm.
different world for me.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think that there's a lot of people in our community that are incredible caregivers. And especially now we're seeing more and more older adults that are in being supported by their members of their family, whether it's their daughters, their sons, their cousins, aunts, uncles, grandkids, whatever it may be. And they're stressed to the max, financially, mentally, physically, in all ways. And so, this to me is ultimate self-care. If you can
Yeah.
put yourself in a position where you can put on your own oxygen mask so that you
100%.
can, you know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
that that's a very critical place
It
for all
really
of us
is.
to
And
be.
I'll say
Yeah,
another thing too about um, feeling anxiety, being in society. So back to physics, right? Back
yeah,
to the laws of resonance and entrainment.
yes,
So if I know I can affect certain parts of the body with resonance, I know I can, right? In the field of entrainment, when somebody is entrained to a sound, or an idea, right? How does that work? Well, entrainment happens when a consistent pulse or idea or sound um, eventually will entrain the others. So it's like a dominant. So if you think about soldiers who march in unison, for example, right?
yes,
They march in perfect lockstep. Now, you could try as hard as you want to step into that soldier step and say, oh no, I'm going to do something different.
yeah,
I'm going
yeah,
to do this like triple time, dance step thing. Good luck.
can't.
You will get entrained by the pulse. Why? Because in physics, the most consistent pulse or vibration will entrain the ones around it. So here we are, human beings running around, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we're being influenced by not only each other and each other's nervous systems when we're in proximity, like closer proximity, right? We're being influenced by everything that's around us, all the sound that's around us, all the stuff on the internet, in the news, and everywhere. So that's why I say choose wisely, right? And
yeah.
surround yourself. Be conscious about the kind of day, week, month, life you want to create, and what does that look like? What am I putting myself around? What do they say? You become like the five people that are around you, right? It's absolutely true. It's resonance and
Sure.
entrainment. So
Yeah,
I say make it
1,000%.
good,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and cultivate practices. I love to teach people how to use their voice for sound healing or get started with a tuning fork or whatever, just something simple. Like, what are your rhythms that you have going on and are they working for you? Okay, great. They're not. Are you ready to change it? Super. Let's do something simple, right?
Yes.
Drumming,
Yeah.
drum
And one
circles.
one tiny little change can make a world of difference. It can
Yeah,
change
because
the
it ripples.
yeah, exactly. It's the ripple
Yeah.
effect. It can change
I
the
think people
whole
think
trajectory.
they're overwhelmed. They think, oh, I can't learn all that. I got to do that. I got to do yoga and I got to drink more water and I got to take probiotics and I got to,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
it's
just
true.
pick one.
People are overwhelmed. There's
Yeah.
no question. There's
Just do
just so
one.
much. But just pick one. Just
Because
pick
then
one.
before long, that becomes a habit, which becomes a rhythm. And it,
Yeah.
guess what? Starts to entrain the next habit, which
Well,
becomes
let's
a
start
rhythm.
people off with a good habit right off the get-go. I told people a
Mhm.
half an hour or ish ago that they needed to go get a piece of paper and a pen. Now
Yeah.
it's time to tell them how they can find out more about what it is that you're doing, your website, when you're having the next training sessions, all those wonderful things.
Okay,
How do people
cool.
reach you?
I do have another pair of forks. While they're getting their pens and papers, I
Oh
want
no,
to
they
share
have their
this.
pens and papers. So hold that. We'll
Oh,
go
okay.
out of the show with that as part of it. I love
Cool.
it.
Great.
Hold that spot. So how do
Okay.
people find you?
For local, so I'm in Nanaimo. So for people wanting to come in for one-on-one or couples or besties sessions, I do sound baths for two, and treatments for one with vibroacoustic therapy in my studio. So that's in Nanaimo, seaofsound.ca.
Seaofsound.ca.
Yep. And the email is info@seaofsound.ca.
Mhm.
And my vibroacoustic therapy is vibroacoustictherapy.com.
How do you
And
spell
that
that?
it's Vibro, so Vibroacoustic
Okay.
therapy.com. And
Therapy.
that has the good information about equipment. And there's also a great masterclass that anybody could learn from. But it does specialize in the certification for practitioners. So anybody that's thinking of taking on a little bit of a different career, massage therapist, this is an awesome modality to
Mhm.
add to your practice because it's easy on your body.
Love it. All right. Okay, so we're going to, for the YouTube channel, we'll make sure that these are in the body of the conversation so
Super.
that people can reach out to you in that way.
Hmm.
My favorite part of the show is always the same. I always want to know, what's the wisdom? What's the takeaway that you would want to make sure that people in our community really, knew about this, you, and just that positiveness that goes out into community. What does that look like?
Well, I just want them to remember who they are. Remember
Yeah.
that they are sonic beings
Yeah.
and to take a moment and honor that
Mm-hmm.
and how are they moving in the world as a sonic being? How are they giving themselves space? I have yet to hear a song that has no rests, right?
Mm-hmm.
So take rest for yourself so that you can go back out and resonate
Mm-hmm.
in the way you intend.
Love it. All right. I'm feeling that. I even wrote it down because I think that that's so important. I want to return to being a sonic being. I know our community
Mm,
wants to too. So
yeah.
as we close out the show, I just want to thank you, Narissa, for being here. To all of our listeners, we're going to go out of the show with a bit of a sound bath to carry us on for the next moment or two. I really appreciate that you guys tune in to us every Monday at 1 o'clock on CHLY 101.7 FM, right here in beautiful Nanaimo and all over Vancouver Island when you check us out on our YouTube channel, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. So thanks for being with us this week. We'll see you next time on Act 3.
Thank you. Here we go.
Ready?
Magic.
Just lovely. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks so
Thanks so
much
much,
for having
Narissa.
me. Yeah.